Hi and Assalamualaikum, my name is Siti Sarah Binti Azmi. In this video, I'm going to talk and briefly explain about the concept of justice in Islam. So without further ado and long introduction, let's start. Justice is very widespread on this earth. There cannot be no peace without the firm establishment of justice. The more you see injustice, the more you will realize the importance of establishing justice in the land. When mankind lacks guidance on how to live their lives, the entire structure of society is damaged. But little did we know, the concept of justice has run deep in each one of us. We do not have to be traveling or working in an environment to get to hear the word fair or fairness. Sometimes even the little children argue about who gets to get the toy. All they have to do is say, "It's not fair." And we are able to understand that. But what do we actually mean by justice? Perhaps more importantly, how are we going to develop a strong sense of justice? Does religion really explain about justice, or does it come naturally without us having to learn it? Does the term justice sit right in religion? Religion has always had a powerful role in shaping ideas of social justice, oppression, and liberation. So in this video, I'm going to talk about justice from the perspective of Islam. We'll also introduce the verse from the Quran and also Hadith and the Muslim scholars' perspective. So in the Islamic worldview, justice denotes placing things in their rightful place. Islamic justice is something higher than the formal justice of Roman law or any other human law. It's even more penetrative than the delicate justice in the speculation of the Greek philosophers. Now let us see, what does the Quran tell us about justice. Justice as defined in the Quran commands mankind to behave in a fair and just manner. Allah has commanded us to protect the rights of others, to be fair and just with people, to side with the one who is under oppression, and to be just, not go beyond the boundaries set by Allah, even with our own enemies. In Islam, we are required to be fair and just in all circumstances, in all situations. Justice needs to be established in a society, and that is the law of our Creator. Allah said in the Quran, Surah An-Nisa, chapter 4, verse 58, "Indeed, Allah commands you to return trust to their rightful owners, and when you judge between people, judge with fairness." Also in Surah Al-Ma'idah chapter 5 verse 8, Allah explains the wisdom behind the command to establish justice in the society. Allah said, "O you who believe, stand out firmly for Allah as just witnesses, and let not the enmity and hatred of others make you avoid justice. Be just, that is nearer to piety and fear Allah." In this context, I would like to touch on the issue of double standards, which can occur in many sectors. The Prophet has warned us against the danger of double standard practice through Hadith. "O people, the nation before you went astray because if a noble person committed theft, they used to leave him. But if a weak person among them committed theft, they used to inflict legal punishment on him. By Allah, if Fatima, the daughter of Muhammad, committed theft, Muhammad will cut off her hand." That is the hadith narrated by Al-Bukhari. In the hadith, we are able to see how the Prophet used the example of the judicial system, as it is an institution whose role is to operationalize the concept of adlu in a community or country. However, if such institution fails to deliver the entrusted amanah in upholding the principle of justice and incline towards fear and favor of those in power and the elite in the society, people will lose their trust in the judicial organ, and as a result, social instability will rise and the nation will slide into anarchy. From here, it should overcome in every aspect of our life, be it the comments we make, judgment we pass, the way we handle our responsibility and obligation to others, and the way we treat others, whether they are our family members, strangers, friends, or even foes. Now let's see, what does the Muslim scholars view about justice? According to Rahib Al-Isfahani, he defined the concept of justice as one that deals with both quality of the soul and the quality of society. There are three types of justice. First is justice to God. Second is justice to others. Third, justice to oneself. As for the first one, it's related to fulfilling the human's commitment to God during the early phase, that we as humans must worship only Him and no one else. Secondly, according to Isfahani, justice towards society is gifts, which brings the meaning of adoption of principles of equity and equality in the socio-economic sense. This is what we call as social justice, which makes for a righteous, moral and just true society in which all humans are treated equally, regardless of their wealth, social status and even gender. Third is being fair and just to one's inner self, which is by making efforts to purify the soul from deceits, temptations, corruption and base desires. According to Isfahani, when one is indulging in a sin deliberately, is doing an injustice or zulm to oneself. In other words, if one is unjust to either oneself or to others, this would be the same as doing an injustice to God. In conclusion, being justice doesn't entirely mean that it is only applicable in a court, but it is also a quality that must be the foundation of the character of a true Muslim. Building a character within oneself is important if one is to be just to others. And when a character of justice is applied, it would ensure that one subjects oneself to accountability against a strict moral scale in we are being just only to God, oneself, and also to others as our prime importance. And with that, thank you so much for listening. Hope you are able to get whatever message that I delivered through this video. May all of you gain something, inshallah. Thank you and Assalamualaikum.